Hey, Kristen. Hey, guys.
Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Strum, and I'm the Chief Meteorologist for WEAR TV, and we are here in the WEAR TV studios, and that's the green screen. That's what I use every single day. I stand in front of that, and I tell the weather. Now, of course, if you're watching at home, you don't see the green screen. We replace the color green with a map, so you see the clouds, the radar data, anything like that, and it shows up on your TV. And we do a lot of shows here at WEAR TV. We do a 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. That's what I do Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday.
Okay, wow, you're really, really good at that. So how in the world did you discover this? What was your favorite subject in high school?
You know, I always did like math. In fact, I wanted to ace the SAT, which if I could go back in life, I would probably do that. Math was not a problem. I think it's easy. Now, other subjects like reading and literature, things like that, I wasn't as sharp on, but that was probably my favorite. Or anything science. So that's probably how I ultimately ended up in this gig here, telling the weather to people, because it is pretty much a science-based type, career, obviously. So we're looking at the weather. We're using a bunch of data, and now with computers and such, it's amazing how much we can use and take in to actually deliver the forecast to our viewers every day.
So is the favorite thing about your job, and what is your typical day like?
Well, I work nights, so when we have a crew of people that work in the morning and a crew of people that work at night, so during the morning hours, we're getting you ready for school and work or whatever it may be if you're turning on the channel during the morning. And then once you're home from school, your folks are home from work, something like that, we want you to turn on the TV and basically get the weather forecast, the sports, the news and such, and we get you set up for the next day. Like at night, when I'm working at 10 o'clock at night, we're hoping that everybody's watching right before they go to bed and to check it out. My favorite thing about this, I think I just like standing up here and actually delivering the weather right in front of this green wall. I set up my slideshow, I get them all together, and I stand in front of the camera, and they say, stand by, and you're on the air, and you just deliver the weather. It is live, so whatever you say goes out over the air. You don't have a chance to back up and take it over. So basically, there's a guy standing behind the camera, and he's like, all right, we're coming out in 5, 4, 3, 2. They don't say one, they just cue you, and then you're on, and it's live, and it's passing out over the airways. So at that moment, too, you've got to have something to say. You can't be late, you've got to be on time, and you've got to be ready to go. So when that camera comes on, you're on, and you're live in basically thousands of households here across Northwest Florida and Southwest Alabama.
Alan, one of our questions is, what do people find hardest about your job? Is that what they find the hardest?
It's not what I find the hardest. I think that's probably what I find the easiest, actually, just standing up in front of the camera and talking. Probably the hardest is actually like digesting some of the data and the information. Like if you have a hurricane coming this way, what's it going to do? Trying to actually figure out what the forecast is. Now around here, a lot of times it's just like high of 89 with a chance for pop-up thunderstorms. So that's usually pretty easy, and we can pass that along. But I think it's more difficult when you're actually kind of, or running the graphics and getting your presentation set up and ready to go. That's probably one of the more difficult things to do.
So, where did you go to college? What was your degree? And do you need a degree for your career?
Yes, definitely a degree, and I recommend college. I had a great time in college. It was fun. I wasn't always studying, but college is a big thing. I grew up in San Diego, so I was born and raised there in California, and then I left and I went to school in North Carolina. I went to school called Wake Forest University. Had a great time there. I studied speech communications. I got a minor in journalism. I really enjoyed all the coursework and such. Had no idea what I was going to end up doing, and I was interning at TV stations. I was a radio DJ. Well, it was NPR, so I don't know if it's called DJ, but I was a radio announcer maybe. And I was a chief photographer for the newspaper. I was doing a bunch of stuff like that. And I was interning at this TV station, and this guy, one of the reporters said, man, you got to get a tape together. You got to get on camera and get your tape together. And I never thought I would be in front of the camera. I always imagined myself behind the scenes, putting together things for the news or film or radio or whatever. And he's like, no, man, you got to get in front of the camera. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I got a job as a reporter. I moved to South Carolina when I graduated from college. They needed somebody to fill in doing the weather. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. They had a bunch of people leave at the same time. They were, basically in desperate need of somebody. So I'll try that. I had no idea what I was doing. I was standing in front of the wall, no idea what I was talking about. So I went back and got another degree from Mississippi State University, did a correspondence program, and so now I have a BA from Wake Forest and a BS from Mississippi State, and that's basically in meteorology.
So I think one of the things I've heard you say is your internship was critical to your success.
Absolutely. And not only did I meet the guy who kind of pushed me along, I had a great time. I learned a lot of stuff. I did several internships. I mean, I was working, I was doing different gigs, and it kind of helped me find a way to where I wanted to go. So an internship can be a lot of fun, and it can really let you know whether or not that's something that you want to do. Doesn't work out, maybe you get another internship. You do something different and kind of roll with your career. But internships are a wonderful. And you know what? If you're looking for an internship, you'll find that people want to help you. So you just reach out to them, and they'll say, yeah. Come on, we'll help you out. We'll work with you and help you get started with your career.
So if they are really excited about what you're saying, two things: what is the salary range for a position like yours, and are there other areas that they can work in this industry but not be on camera?
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff you could do in this industry. For example, we're just in the studio. This is one small part of a bigger building. We've got a sales department. They're selling commercials. I mean, that's one of the most important things. We need to have people selling commercials so that we can pay for all this stuff to be able to bring you the weather and the broadcast. We've got people in accounting. You've got people. Our audio guy, he's right over here. He's hanging out, watching me like, what's he doing over there? We've got people running camera. We've got photographers out in the field. You've got your reporters. You've got producers. They're very important. They're writing the show and they're making sure all the information is there. Now with online stuff, there's people producing content that goes out on weartv.com. So there are a bunch of different jobs that you can do certainly in this field. Oh, and you asked about salary. I do get that question a lot. It's